Okay, I'm so distracted
No, you
because I
should
can
take your
see a
time.
rainbow.
Take your time.
There's a rainbow. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
Quit
Okay.
your job.
This is
See
the
a
hook.
rainbow.
I got the hook.
भाई उसे हुक मत बनाना तेरा कुछ नहीं जाएगा
देखो
मेरे
यार,
कुछ बचेगा नहीं।
मेरा उनका काम है इन्फॉर्मेशन देना, मेरा काम है यहाँ पर थोड़ा स्पाइस अप करना कंटेंट को.
Spice up.
We talk about foreign countries. Their career gap is not a big taboo.
Yeah.
But if I talk about a country like India where people say कि if you have a career gap तो भाई अब तो तुम्हारी लाइफ खत्म है, ठीक है, तुम्हें कोई जॉब देने वाला है नहीं,
Yeah.
ठीक है, तुम बेरोजगार मरोगे अब. Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Career Drive with your Sardar ji. So in today's drive we have Hanspreet Kaur with us, who is a corporate trainer, a communication and soft skill coach, and an interview expert. In today's drive, we're going to talk about the psychology of HRs behind asking those behavioral interview questions, and what are some commonly asked interview questions in an interview, and how to tackle them, and how the corporate is changing and evolving with coming Gen Zs at workforce. So this is gonna be a crazy, fun infotainment drive. So stay tuned. See you on the drive. Hi, Hanspreet. Hi. So, are you excited for this drive?
Yes, I am.
You are. So, I guess it's your fourth time in Noida, yeah?
Yeah.
And how often you travel from Chandigarh to Noida, like for your trainings and all?
I keep traveling, I think, about 2 to 3 times a month.
Cool.
To Delhi NCR, not
Great,
just Noida.
Great. So, and do you know the concept of this drive that we invite one of the follower of the creator?
Right.
So, are you excited to meet him?
Okay. Yes.
Cool. So we're gonna pick him from he's very nearby from here.
Okay.
So we're gonna pick him. Let's see how it goes.
Okay,
Cool.
sure.
A few moments later.
Hi Chavi, hi.
Hi Aman, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi Hanspreet, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I follow your content on soft skills and resume building. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for following me.
So Chavi, I guess your one wish of meeting your favorite creator, I made it possible, yeah.
Thank you Aman. Thank you so much.
So before we'll move ahead, Chavideep, can you just give a small introduction so that Hanspreet get to know about you?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure Aman, sure. So my name is Shavideep Singh. I work as an assistant manager at Pearson.
Oh.
Pearson is an education company, and I work in the global rights and royalties team, which is basically a finance branch. So we look into the royalties and rights of the authors in US, UK, Canada, all across the globe. My office is in Sector 16, Noida. So that's what I do, and I'm here following Hanspreet on resume tips
Okay.
on how to kind of get to know myself a little better and how to be poised enough in an interview. So yeah.
That's something great. Okay, can you tell me one thing with the kind of content I guess you follow Hanspreet from so long.
Yeah.
What is that one USP you feel like that young Hanspreet content do have, which other creator you feel like I could not relate with?
That's actually a very good question. So I came across Hanspreet profile on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And LinkedIn, as you all know, is a platform where you see what people are doing professionally. So I saw one of Hanspreet videos where she was mentioning about some resume tips on how to basically answer questions like why should we hire you, or what are the rights to do kind of in an interview. So that I feel connected with me at a level where as a relatively young professional,
Yeah.
I could relate to Hanspreet's content.
Cool.
So that's when I kind of followed.
Okay, so as you were mentioning your introduction, so here's my very first question to you, Hanspreet, is I've been taking mock interviews for many kind of individuals.
Right.
So that's very first question which people do struggle with. That is, tell me something about yourself.
Right.
Like people don't know what to include in that particular
Yeah.
response, and I tell them that have you seen that movie Chak De where Shah Rukh Khan says ye 70 minutes. So I say to those people, these 5 minutes is your give your best shot in that
Right.
5 minutes for tell me something about yourself. So I just want to know, can you suggest a structure how someone can frame a answer or a response to this particular question?
Right. Yeah, so I remember I've posted a video on this as well, and it did go a little viral. So I
Okay.
think I'll just elaborate on that. I will differ from you a bit in the part where you said 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because I personally feel that 5 minutes is a pretty long time for you to,
Yeah, yeah.
answer that question. So I would probably suggest to keep it between 60 seconds to 90 seconds, which is 1.5 minute. And since you talked about structure, I actually sometimes create models to make it easy for people to understand. So I came up with this model called the passive model.
Okay.
And it's basically a limerick. Now, limerick is just like an abbreviation. I just expand on it. So P stands for personal details, A stands for achievements, S stands for short-term goals, I stands for interests, and F stands for future goals, right? So I feel like these 5 elements, when they come together, an amalgamation of all of these become really important for you to understand the structure better. So if you just add on to these 5 elements, maybe 2-liners or 3-liners, starting with, telling your name and just 1-liner about what you do or what you recently studied, then adding on to it by mentioning your interests in 1 or 2 lines, which should align with the skills that they need according to the JD, right? Which is the job description. Then a little bit about your achievements. Again, it could correlate with the skills so that it talks more about you and the requirements of the company. And then I feel like when you start talking a little about your short-term goals on how this company or this job could contribute, and the long-term goals, so that you can make them understand that what you're actually looking forward to in the future, it gives them a fair idea about who you are as a person, that you're determined, that you have goals and plans, and that you're willing to look forward. So I feel that this question has a hidden meaning, which is what I always tell people, that it might sound like such a simple question, tell me something about yourself, but the moment it's the question is
Yeah.
shot at you, you get confused कि मैं अपने बारे में क्या बताऊं, right? So I feel like it's a hidden question which includes a lot of elements which I just talked about, and when you just combine these elements together, form a short crisp answer. I think that is good for them to get in a sense of who you are.
Cool. Like as you were mentioning the structure and everything,
Yeah.
I've heard somewhere that the response to this question can give you that the power, like whether you want interviewer to take the lead of your interview or
Yeah.
whether you want to take the lead of your interview.
Right.
Because the kind of response you'll be answering,
Yeah.
the next question gonna be framing in the particular order.
Absolutely.
So that's one I've heard it somewhere. Like I forget the name
Yeah.
where I heard it. So Chavite, coming back to you, like as we were talking about, tell me something about yourself. I guess in your college, you must have heard this question a lot. And when we were in college, when we talk among our friends कि यार इसका आंसर क्या होगा, कोई रट के आता था कि मगअप करके आता था, पहले मम्मा का नाम बताना है और फिर I based out and different stuff. So I just want to know the perspective of someone who have given multiple interviews and you are working somewhere अभी as at this place. तो कोई एक perspective बताओ यार, students की क्या ideology होती है while answering this question?
First of all, Hanspreet's answer was like very, very accurate,
Yeah.
which I do understand now after like having 4 years plus of experience working as a professional, right? But back in college, I was not really sure, or most of my friends were not sure on how to kind of answer this question. हमारे दिमाग में it was usually like, tell me something about yourself is, okay, what do you do? And who you are, basically.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
What are your hobbies? What do you like? What are you interested in? If there are any skills that you possess, you kind of present them to the interviewer. But there was no structure, and there was not that mindset कि जो सामने वाला ये सवाल पूछ रहा है, उसके दिमाग में क्या है, वो हमसे क्या निकलवाना चाह रहा है. So that element was missing as a young student. But
Okay.
now, as in when you grow and you kind of have that content, you start researching, you start to prep for a particular interview, then you kind of read on the internet and look at videos where people are telling you, okay, this is why they're asking that question and this is the intent behind that.
Okay, cool. So as you were mentioning that to get information from internet, how much you feel that the budding the budding creators are the future of education, like someone as you're framing. So what do you think about this? I just want to know that perspective. The creators are the future of education. What's your take on this?
My take?
Yeah.
See, it's a again a very good question, and I might not be the best person to answer that. But from a person who consumes content a lot on Instagram,
Yeah.
YouTube, LinkedIn, you know, always trying to upskill myself, I can tell you that a young budding creator who is telling you on, you know, for example, how to prep for an interview, I think they are doing a lot of research which you can kind of save your time on.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to read 10 articles to, you know,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to the conclusion.
Yeah.
You can just watch a video of a creator
Yeah.
who's themselves trying to, you know, kind of get somewhere in that particular area. So as Hanspreet makes content,
Yeah.
so if you look at one of Hanspreet's videos, you can get basically a concoction of, you know, a lot of research, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of you know, written articles on how to basically present yourself in an interview. So that, I think, is what helps me personally, and most of the people in my you know, area.
Yeah. So how's the feeling, Hanspreet, now getting a feedback live from someone who is following you? You know, I think you get lot of DMs regarding this particular thing.
Yeah.
But getting a feedback of such kind
Yeah.
from a person, how's feel? Like it motivates you to generate more
Yeah,
content?
no, definitely, because I think he made some really great pointers. You know, I'm sure a lot of people might think when they consume my content that, you know, why should we watch these videos when everything's there out on the internet,
Yeah.
or, you know, through other sources. And of course, like you mentioned, DMs, I do get comments also sometimes, people saying ki just chat GPT kar lo, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I am obviously not getting into conversations with people who have a problem with my content, but you know, if I had to give a general statement out there, I would just say ki chat GPT ne tumhe barbaad kar diya. So I think I talk a lot when I take my resume building sessions, and I talk about it from an AI perspective. I feel like tools like ChatGPT are really great for today's day and age, but you should take their help. Consider them as a holding hand rather than completely relying on them, right? एक अगर आप रिज्यूमे भी बना के चैट जीपीटी से पूरा भेज देते हो ना इंटरव्यूअर को, वो 1 सेकंड में पहचान लेगा.
Yeah.
People have experience, they are not crazy.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
know what you're doing, they know what you're
Yeah.
saying, right? And the way you frame answers, if you're directly doing it from chat GPT, it's very obvious. So you have to constantly keep getting it, you know, reframe it, or, you know, add in your personal touch to make it more human. Because then where is your element, right? So, you know, I really agree with whatever he said, and I'm really glad. I'm sure all the followers that I have, they probably do follow me because
Yeah.
they also have the same kind of mindset. And he made a really brilliant point about, you know, see, हम रील्स क्यों देखते हैं? रील्स में भी when we say कि 30 सेकंड से कम का कंटेंट बनाओ, why is it so? Because लोगों की पेशेंस लेवल और रिटेंशन कैपेसिटी इतनी कम हो गई है ना, they just want to consume quick content.
Yeah.
उनको सब कुछ instantly चाहिए. So again, when he mentioned कि वो research वो avoid कर रहे हैं, and I am doing it for them.
Yeah.
So I'm basically making their process easy. All they have to do is just save my reel, right? And they can just go back to it again. Because in 30 seconds, I'll give you the gist of whatever you could have gotten out of 10 articles, probably. So yeah.
Cool. So, like, now I want to bring one question which even I get in my DMs a lot.
Okay.
And I think that's a problematic question in India. Like,
Okay.
if we talk about foreign countries, their career gap is not a big taboo.
Yeah.
But if I talk about a country like India where people say कि if you have a career gap तो भाई अब तो तुम्हारी लाइफ खत्म है, ठीक है, तुम्हें कोई जॉब देने वाला है नहीं,
Yeah.
ठीक है, तुम बेरोजगार मरोगे अब. Yeah, this is what I get to hear from people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so many people have their personal problems. Few people leave because of their family issues, and there are multiple kind of reasons
Absolutely.
because of them that they leave their job. But if they want to come back to, you know, again to job market and again to a job, how they should frame their answer. There is always a discussion that you should always be loyal about your answer.
Right.
And some people say कि नहीं यार कोई सच सुनने नहीं बैठा है. If you say कि भाई मेरी मतलब मैं तो लुट गया था, मैं डिप्रेशन में चला गया था और बताइए मेरी लाइफ उजड़ गई थी इसलिए मैंने जॉब छोड़ दी, तो भाई नेक्स्ट इंटरव्यूअर बोलेगा कि भाई अब क्यों हायर करें तेरे को हम. सो आई जस्ट वांट टू नो कि व्हाट इज द राइट वे ऑफ फ्रेमिंग द आंसर टू दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन कि व्हाई देयर इज अ करियर गैप इन योर रिज्यूमे.
Right. So again, there are a lot of elements to it. I feel like, as you mentioned, कि India में it is a problem. People will see you as somebody who's probably incompetent,
Yeah.
which is not true.
Yeah.
And अगर 1 साल का 2 साल का gap है, that is still something you can justify. But I feel like a lot of people face problems when they have a longer career gap, right? And if I'm being very brutally honest, in India, if you have of 3 or 4 years of career gap, which I know a few people do, and that you've not done anything in those 3 or 4 years per se, right? No matter you had some personal issues, people don't consider it a lot. So you will have to kind of be mentally prepared to accept the fact that you will probably have to put in a little more effort on what you've missed out in the last 4 years. You will have to upskill yourself a little to be able to prove it to the interviewer कि now you're ready and you can contribute, right? अब जब 1 या 2 साल का gap होता है, they can be a lot of factors, like you said, there could be medical condition, family responsibilities. It could also be, India में especially सबसे ज़्यादा career gap तब आता है when people are preparing for competitive exams, right? एंड नहीं क्लियर होता या नहीं क्रैक होता, राइट? एंड देन दे फाइनली थिंक कि चलो नाउ आई नीड टू स्टेप इनटू द corporate world, or I need to get another job, right? So if it's 1 or 2 years, again, you cannot completely justify, but I would again and again reiterate the fact कि you need to be honest. अगर तुम झूठ बोलोगे, that will totally work against you, ठीक है? So don't lie. And there could be a lot of issues. It's about how you frame your answer. Now, again, I'm not getting into the samples and all now. I have posted that as well, so people can have a look. But the thing over here is that there could be factors like redundancy, upskilling, education, and how you can actually overcome all of this is कि अगर 1-2 साल नहीं भी कुछ करा, कोई courses भी नहीं करे, हम मान लेते हैं, because you're so dedicated and you were preparing for a competitive exams. Now, once you've decided कि अब मुझे job industry में step in करना है, take 2 to 3 months to upskill yourself. आजकल इतने instant courses हैं. There are 1 week courses, month courses, 3 months courses, right? And even if there are longer courses, just probably get enrolled in that courses, right? So once you start doing that, you will be able to at least show something on paper that I have been working on something. And I would say, start doing thorough research on the job and the kind of market you want to get into. You should learn and read more about the industry trends so that they know that you kept up to the pace and you know what's going on. You're not somebody who's lagged behind. वो 2 साल ऐसा नहीं था that you were not aware or you were not knowing what you're supposed to do. So keep upskilling yourself. And for people who are still young and might take career gaps later, I would still say, अगर आपको लग रहा है आपका 6 महीने का भी gap आ रहा है, although उतना issue नहीं होता, just keep doing something. Enroll yourself in some course, some certification, do something which is concrete and important from a job perspective. Even if you don't know कि job किस चीज में करनी है, do some generic courses, right? Because हर चीज, कितने सारे courses होते हैं which come in handy in a lot of fields, right? So do some generic courses, but the main point is to be relevant and to show that you were relevant and you have been up to date over time.
Okay, so Hanspreet, like you have mentioned everything, like how to tackle a career gap and all those stuff. But as my personal experience, I feel like people are interested कि भाई तुम अभी क्या हो, who you are now as a person. आपके पास में कुछ भी हुआ हो ना. Like if in an interview you are showing that interviewer your true self that now I am ready. Like everything happened. आप उसके बारे में dig in करोगे ना तो फिर आप उसी के अंदर चले जाओगे. You should always focus on कि अभी आप क्या, और उस इंटरव्यू को प्रूव कर दोगे ना कि यार अभी I'm job ready, अभी I'm market ready, तो यार कोई career gap इतना देखने वाला नहीं है, which you like explained in detailing.
No, I agree.
हाँ.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, sure.
So what my experience has been up till now is that the interviewers these days, because we are again a new generation of India growing up,
Gen Z.
Gen Z. And post-COVID, even the interviewers and the recruiters, they kind of know how the startup culture in India is growing, right? Quite a good pace.
Right.
And when you do have a career gap, when a person would decide, okay, I would quit my job and I would want to start something of my own.
Right.
I would give it a shot since I am still young in the system. I can spare 2 years and that won't matter in the long run. But if I succeed, that's a win-win for everyone. And if I don't, I can always get back to corporate.
Right.
And when you go back, if things don't work out and you do have a career gap and you are asked on why this is, as you mentioned, honesty is like the best policy here in terms of answering this question. But I think the recruiters also do understand that, okay, this is something which he was doing. He was trying. And even if there are a few courses less, because courses these days I feel कि 500 रुपए के भी हैं, 50,000 के भी हैं, लाख रुपए के
Absolutely,
भी
हाँ.
हैं. So that won't matter just for the sake of getting that certification added to your
Right,
resume.
right.
Knowledge comes with it, and the experience that you've gained from trying to build a startup and failing at it, I think that would count if you're able to kind of present that to the recruiter and communicate that in the right way on where your efforts were being given and not corporate. So
Right.
what are your thoughts on that?
So I absolutely agree with you. I think maybe I should just make it more clear. So you're right. As I said, that you have to prove it to them that you did something, right? Because honestly, I personally know a few people who were not able to do anything, right? They started something, they left it, and it's very different from a startup. You literally quit your job. You've put in effort. You've constantly put in effort for 2 years to make it work. So that shows that you tried to do something or get something out of it. Again, when it's startups and you quit, now there could be another perspective from the recruiter that maybe he's a quitter, right? But then it's about how you present it. If you can present it to them well in a manner that why did you quit it and that you're not a quitter, and you had certain reasons because it didn't work out and you realized what the flaws and the challenges were, then it's great. But when I said that the certifications and courses part, I totally agree with you that there are so many 500 रुपए वाले हैं, 5,000 वाले हैं, 50,000 वाले. That's absolutely right. But I feel like this suggestion is mainly for those जिन्होंने कुछ नहीं करा है, जो घर पे बैठे हैं, they are not doing anything, right? Because a lot of time it happens with people. I know people like they've not figured out उनको करना क्या है, तो वो कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, and then they regret it later. So to avoid those regrets, just stay active is all I'm trying to say. But I loved your startup example. I think that was something really nice.
Cool. Okay, so Hanspreet, in continuation to this particular question only, as we were saying ki career gap and all those stuff, like in counter to this particular career gap wala thing, interviewer asks situation based questions.
Right.
Ki they put you in some situation where they try to see your emotional quotient.
Right.
Yeah. So how to deal to such situation based question? I know there are some approaches like STAR approach.
Right.
Okay, so I want you to elaborate that also, but I would really appreciate if you take an example of any situation based question and then also explain the answer for the same stuff,
Yeah.
and how you have applied STAR approach to this particular question. So yeah, please.
Okay. So STAR method is of course brilliant because it's used for all kinds of behavioral or situation based questions like you rightly mentioned. STAR, for those who don't know, I just want to quickly say it refers to situation, task, action and result. Now how it helps is that I always tell people that of course there are so many questions that can be tackled through the STAR method. So you might ask me कि अगर मैं 10 भी prepare कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ और उन्होंने कोई 11वां question पूछ लिया, so what will I do? I'll be put in a spot, right? So what I suggest is कि 10 questions की तो list बना लो, right? And when you're preparing, I always tell people to make lists. When you're preparing, once you have the list, just think of very short stories that you can apply to all 10 questions. So back of the head में एक story रहेगी. So when the question is shot at you, you're not put in a spot and ये नहीं हो रहा that you blank out कि यार क्या story सुनाऊं, मुझे तो कुछ याद नहीं आ रहा. And the beautiful and the most beautiful part about this is कि अगर 10 questions prepare कर लिया ना, so I'm pretty sure कि अगर और कोई भी questions है, बहुत सारी stories can be inculcated to those questions as well, right? So now you asked for an example as well, right? So I always give a very simple example. Let's take an example कि I had to deliver a speech. ठीक है?
Okay.
Somebody asked me कि it's a job probably, and they asked me how tell me about a challenge that you faced,
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
or tell me about not a challenge, okay, I'll just change the question a little. Let's assume the question is tell me about one of your personal achievements, which is a question that can be tackled through STAR method.
Sure.
So let's take an example that the person was not good at communicating or public speaking, okay? So the situation here for the person is that I wanted to deliver a speech, okay? Now the task is that to deliver a speech, I need to make sure that my public speaking skills are well and I'm well prepared. Now, the action that you take here is you start practicing in front of the mirror, you tell your friends to hear you out, give you suggestions, take inputs, right? So now you're prepared, you take an action towards it. And the result was that you were able to prepare a great speech, right? So it's as simple as that. Think of extremely small stories or snippets. If you're a fresher, you must have so many stories from college, right? You can even take stories from your personal life. Because if you're talking about stories from your personal life, probably something that happened with a friend or with a family member, just don't make it too personal. But I'm just saying in general, in case you don't have experience and you want to take some personal stories, it can talk a lot about you, because it can show that, for example, it's a story where you were very empathetic, so it shows that you have good EQ or emotional quotient. Or if you had, if you needed patience, or if you needed good communication skills, negotiation skills, दो दोस्तों में लड़ाई हो गई, right? Now again, I'm just blabbering random examples here. Of course, दो दोस्तों की लड़ाई नहीं बतानी जाके interview में, right? But yeah, it's just simple examples. Think of nice examples which work for you, which sound a little professional, and you're good to go.
Great. Chavideep, I want to throw a question to you. Okay. Just let me know your like key skills. Like, what kind of person you are? I just want to know that first. Like, are you optimistic, passionate? Like, just those words I want from you. Can you tell a little bit about that particular part of you?
I would like to believe that I'm a high achiever.
Okay.
I mean, I do put a lot of effort and all of my heart in whatever I do.
Okay.
I love my job.
Okay.
I love working, and I will not tag myself as a workaholic,
Okay.
but I know where to put the boundaries.
Okay.
In terms of, I see a lot of people, even in my team at office, who are not able to switch off their work mode,
Okay.
right? So it's like always, even when their laptop is shut, at home, at with anybody, they are like constantly thinking about work. So I have somehow figured out on how to switch that off in me. So as soon as my laptop shutter goes down, I'm off. I am on vacation mode unless there is a emergency at work,
Cool.
to which I'm always available. I try to be as available as I can be, but that is how I am. Yeah.
No,
Okay, cool. Now I want to throw a question towards you.
Okay.
Suppose you wake up tomorrow
Okay.
and you find yourself pregnant.
Wow.
What will your response?
I would check my bank balance if I can afford to raise that child.
So I just want to give a situation based question over here.
Oh my
See how someone gonna react. So this question I asked like in my mock interview to one student, and I was
I
like,
hope I want to know. I'm really intrigued. Whom did you ask it to? Was it a female or a male?
no, it's a male only. That's why I asked Chavideep only.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, he told me, sir, I'm very optimistic, positive thinker,
Wow.
too much, energy. And I was like, okay, bro, now let's see this. So I told him, you wake up tomorrow and find yourself pregnant, what will your response? Keh raha, sir, ye to ho hi nahi sakta. Maybe I was drunk last night. Maybe it's impossible. And I'm like, bro, where is your positive thinking now? You can say that I'll take care of my baby the same way if my wife would have got pregnant.
Yeah.
Because you are a positive thinker, you know how to.
Of course.
Yeah. So I just want to just kind of.
So
Okay.
coming from a male perspective, you know what my role as a key role, if my wife was pregnant and I had a baby, was to first have the finances.
No,
right,
your
if I
wife not
can
having a
raise-
baby. You are having a
raise
baby.
that- yeah, that same, that brain is still the same, that works the same.
Great,
I
great.
would go check my bank balance if I can raise that child.
Oh, that's
Right.
great. So, matlab, I'm not saying your answer is wrong or right. It's how you respond.
Dude, your
I'm-
question is wrong. Okay, man.
Okay. Now moving forward, lot of fun happened. मतलब मेरा बीच में ऐसे में थोड़ा
Good question. I mean, I will keep that in mind.
Okay, cool. I have lot of questions such kind. ठीक है. Okay, moving forward. So, as we have discussed about interview processes, the kind of questions and everything. Now, if I look up to the landscape of recruitment processes in the screening, with Gen Z coming at workplaces, and I've seen that the interview processes are even changed now. Like when I was in my college and I've given interviews, like क्या होता था, GD होता था, one-on-one interview होता था, written round होता था, aptitude round होता था,
Yeah.
and now it's more like कि companies want to know people in person also, कि वो as a person कैसे हैं, will they fit with the values and the ethics of the company or not, क्या वो culture fit करता है नहीं करता, ये बहुत important हो गया आजकल companies के लिए. So I just want you to throw some light on this in this particular scenario.
Okay. So I think you're right to say that they want that human touch, and I think it's not with Gen Zs. Human touch is important in general also, because EQ कहीं ना कहीं lose हो रहा है, and when it comes to soft skills, I think emotional quotient or empathy is extremely important. It's one of the most high rated skill that you should have as a person in a working environment. But sadly, 80% of the people in a work environment do not possess that skill, right? Because हम लोगों ने शुरू से ये culture देखा है of people just screaming at your subordinates and then उनके subordinates को वो चिल्ला रहे हैं. So it's just a hierarchy, right? चिल्लाने की. So I feel with Gen Z, one good thing, one plus point that I could say is that they don't take it, right? Now this could be both good and bad. Bad in a way that वो इतने stubborn हो चुके हैं that they don't want to own up to their mistakes. They will not realize where the boss is coming from, what perspective are they coming from, because you know, they have experience. Now I understand कि चिल्लाना is not the right approach, but when they are telling you to do something or they are pointing out a fault, you need to understand where it's coming from, right? Because it's at the end of the day, it's the company that's at hold, right? Boss की तुम्हारे से कोई personal दुश्मनी तो है नहीं. And when you said recruitment process, now this is just a little funny. I'm not dissing Gen Z because again we are also Gen Zs. But the point here is कि it was a little ironic when you said, you know, human touch, because मुझे लगता है कि interview तक पहुंचने के लिए भी तो ह्यूमन टच चाहिए, और अगर इनको रिज्यूमे चैट जीपीटी से बनाने तो ये वहां तक पहुंचेंगे कैसे, राइट? सो या आई फील लाइक ऑफ कोर्स विद चेंजिंग टाइम्स दीज थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग, सो इट्स important that you do possess that skill. You should show that you're empathetic, you have a good EQ. You should you know, in interviews also, again there's one more important point कि interviews में ना क्या होता है, कई बार we try to overpower ourselves in the interviews also, right? कि मैं ही सबसे great हूँ, मेरे को तो ये job मिल जाएगी, ये HR ये कौन होते हैं मेरे को बताने वाले, right? कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, क्या कर रही हूँ. So you have to go with a very open mind, a very learning and soaking in approach, so that you understand what they are trying to say, listen to them more, speak less, be less defensive, right? Because ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, अगर आप इंटरव्यू में करते हो ना, it talks a lot about your character and your personality. So अगर आप, if you're constantly cutting off the interviewer, right? If you're trying to constantly cross question them or get defensive or trying to, you know, disagree with everything that they're trying to say, it just shows that you don't have a positive approach, right? It shows that you're just showing that you have too much attitude, you know too much more than they do, which is not true. So I think just be a little humble. That's what's important at the end of the day, especially interviews mein. When you are humble, when you're kind, when you're respectful, that automatically talks a lot about how much human touch or EQ you possess.
ठीक है. I think इस पे छविदीप का टेक आना बहुत important है, because we are talking about Gen Z, and जो लोग Gen Z देख रहे हैं, they kind of, you know, comment कर देंगे नीचे. So I want छविदीप your point of view, what Hanspreet explained. I guess वो एक perspective है हमारा as a someone who trained people. But what's going in your head when she's saying all those stuff? Do you agree, do you disagree, or do you kind of mutually in between कि यार हाँ ठीक है, हम सुनते हैं, हम लोग भी, ऐसा नहीं है we don't listen. What's your take on this?
So Aman, my take is on the right side of what Hanspreet mentioned. I mean, you have to be humble, and your attitude in front of the recruiter should be very
In
very
check.
accurate. Yeah, in check. आप ऐसा घमंडी नहीं शो कर सकते, आप ये नहीं दिखा सकते कि आपको सब आता है. Like if you're applying for a job, you are there because you want that job, and you have to show that passion and that intent that I will do anything it takes for me to get this job, and I am the right person, right? So whatever skills you have in your bag, you have to show that in the right light to the interviewer, right? So I completely agree with what Hanspreet said, and I think Gen Z, as volatile as they are in their head, I think they are a very passionate, you know, bunch of people when it comes to anything that they do. So you see that there are a lot of creators these days who are like Gen Z, who are like, you know, earning as much money or more money than people who are like who've been working their asses off in corporate, right? Why is that? Because they have passion for what they do, and they do it consistently because they have nothing to lose. They're trying, they're achieving, and they're being successful. So they are very passionate bunch of people. And for those masses of Gen Z who are applying or who want to do big in corporate and are wanting to apply for an interview, I think that is something that they take along with them in an interview. That passion, that essence of passion that they do take with them, and that is something that the recruiter always kind of witnesses.
So building upon that, I just recalled a story since you talked about passion. Again, I was not dissing Gen Zs, and I'm not generalizing them also, because I know a lot of people who are so kind, so humble, but sometimes that just comes in the way because of the way we've been raised. I feel like we as Gen Zs have been raised in such a protective environment कि हमारे पेरेंट्स ने कभी हमें किसी की सुनने नहीं दी, हमें किसी टीचर से मार नहीं खाने दी, जबकि उनकी जनरेशन में they have done that a lot, right? So I feel like because we've been raised in such a different environment, it just comes from that. It's not nothing to do with the person's personality per se. So I just came from a training today, and it was for some senior people, and I can just recall an example. So they were telling us about a few struggles that they face with the young employees, or with the ones who are very fresh, who have 1-2 years of experience, who have just come in. So they said ki we always face a problem with that, they're not trying to understand my perspective. I don't know how to make them understand my perspective, and they feel like it's so ironic ki in general they feel like those people are so passionate, so high in passion, so energetic, but mostly with their personal stuff. Right? So when it comes to their personal stuff or their work ethics in relations to छुट्टी लेना या फिर कुछ और करना, it's high. And another problem that they mentioned that people have been facing these days is कि Gen Zs बहुत ज्यादा ना monotony feel करने लग गए अपने काम में. They have been feeling कि मैं ना रोज वो same काम नहीं कर सकता, which again I think, if I'm being very honest, I relate to. Okay, because I have worked in corporate for some time, and I know that sitting in front of the laptop every day was something I couldn't do. Firstly, because मेरे को इतना screen time पसंद नहीं है, which is ironic again now because I create videos. But yeah, secondly, because it's very constant and continuous and stressful, right? So I totally understand, because I think मेरी अगर रोज same जिंदगी हो, same life हो, it is problematic for me. मैं बहुत जल्दी बोर हो जाती हूँ. I feel that monotony, and now because I'm into this industry, I get to do new things every day, or get new experiences, even though the content is same. So I feel like that is generally a problem that people are facing in today's industry कि उनको monotony नहीं face करनी है. They want to do something exciting and important every day. And then there was another trainer who gave an input for that, which I think was really helpful. कि you should try to involve them in some of your big decision making, even though you've made decisions. Okay, just make them think, right? Give them something to think upon, so that they feel important and they feel like they have something new to work upon, and they want to know your perspective on it. So it makes them also think, and work on their creative juices and flow, and they also feel important at the same time. So I think just putting in some elements like these can really help tackling with the generation gap or the mindset gap that people are facing these days.
I second that. As you were mentioning कि the very first step is resume.
Yeah.
कि जब ChatGPT से resume बनाने बंद कर देंगे तो obviously. So coming on the resume वाला part, which is a prior thing to interview. Let me talk about only future का perspective और 2024 का, क्योंकि resume हमने पहले भी देखे हैं कैसे बनते थे और अब कैसे बन रहे हैं. So I just want to want you to just frame this in a way so that our audience would understand कि if I am approaching a recruiter from different platforms, कि there are many kind of resumes, targeted, customized, functional, cross-functional, different many kind. We can name them.
Yeah.
But I guess this is very personalized और particular thing कि यार आप कौन सा resume यूज कर रहे हो, आप ऑलरेडी फ्रेमिंग टेम्पलेट यूज कर रहे हो, आपने वर्ड में बनाया है, ये तो काफी सारी चीजें मतलब बहुत पर्टिकुलर हो जाती है. बट if I'm reaching out to a recruiter through LinkedIn, if I'm reaching out to a recruiter through Indeed, if I'm reaching out to a recruiter via mail, so क्या डिफरेंस होगा रिज्यूमे में अगर मैं फ्यूचर के प्रोस्पेक्टिव की बात करूं, और क्या रिज्यूमे की जगह कवर लेटर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑल्सो पैरेलली इफ आई एम टारगेटिंग अ पर्टिकुलर कंपनी, एंड वो कवर लेटर कैसा फ्रेम होना चाहिए. आई जस्ट वांट यू टू एलैबोरेट दैट.
ठीक है. So cover letter is again something which you can add with your resume. Of course, you can't just send the cover letter. That's something which is wrong, because resume is the first thing that you look at, right? So
इस साइड ना, राइट, ओके, राइट जाके फिर इधर ये घूमना है. यार हम बहुत ना क्राउडी एरिया में आ गए है ना, पहले वाला एरिया सही था. कैन यू पुट अपने घर का मैप? हाँ, हम उस साइड निकल जाते हैं फिर.
पता है रास्ता में, यहाँ से U-turn.
आप कंटिन्यू
फिर से स्टार्ट करूंगी, कंटिन्यू करूंगी?
कर दूं और कट ले लूंगा.
ठीक है. सो सो एज आई वाज सेइंग कि इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि कवर लेटर तुम साथ में ऐड कर सकते हो रिज्यूमे के, बट रिज्यूमे भेजना तो इम्पोर्टेंट है. एंड इफ यू एज अ पर्सन फील अ लिटिल क्लूलेस अबाउट द फैक्ट कि रिज्यूमे कैसा होना चाहिए, आई थिंक रिवर्स क्रोनोलॉजी or reverse chronological resume format is the best because it works for everybody in all kinds of situations. Of course, if you have pretty less experience, you should keep your resume up to one page and like the basics that you mentioned, right? It should be ATS friendly. Ab ATS pe I am not going to highlight right now because you said ki is situation mein we are sending it directly to them, right? So hum assume kar rahe hain कि it's not going to be scanned through ATS. ठीक है? They are going to directly look at your resume. Now, when you're sending it on mail or even on LinkedIn, that also becomes a part of cold emailing, right? So पहले तो I feel like
कोई नहीं यार, वो नेचुरल लगता है सब करो यार.
so पहले तो I feel like you know it's important on how you approach that mail and the body or the content that you're writing with that mail or through that cold email, because अगर वो catchy और interesting नहीं है ना, कोई खोलेगा नहीं, right? And chances बहुत कम होते हैं, if I'm being very blunt, अगर आप LinkedIn में किसी को अपना resume भेज रहे हो ना, chances बहुत कम है that the person will open it unless they are actively hiring somebody and they feel like you're from the field, right? अगर कोई अभी actively hire नहीं कर रहा है, the person will not take the pain to go open your DM or open your mail and go through that resume. So yeah, again, वो ATS से scan करे या ना करे, I think reverse chronological order में keeping it short and concise, using the right keywords from the job description, because अगर एक recruiter ने भी आपका resume scan करना है and जब उनके पास multiple resumes आते हैं तब तो you know it usually says कि there's a 3-second first look that people look at, right? But अगर in this case again, because this is a situation you gave me, अगर इस case में the recruiter is actually taking a few minutes to go through it because they really want you know somebody, so again focus on the keywords, because I feel like ऐसी situation में ना उनका focus nitty gritties पे ज्यादा जाएगा, right? तो देखो कि आपके पास क्या वो skills हैं आप mention कर रहे हो जो उस job requirement के लिए हैं. अब अगर आपके पास job description भी नहीं है because again you're doing cold emailing, so then just research nicely about the job role, about the company, Glassdoor पे पढ़ो, इतने सारे examples मिलेंगे, उसमें से try to pick on nuances and see what the company's requirements or you know what the job positions requirements are, and उस हिसाब से अपने resume को format करके just send it across.
Cool. In continuation to this, there's new term which is coming in creative job profile, that is portfolios.
Right.
Okay, like I as a brand manager or I as a social media strategist, for my profile obviously a portfolio really works, you know. It's a must thing. ठीक है? So there are many job profiles जहाँ पर portfolios होते हैं, and they are full stack developers who just put अपने you know lead code के जितना उनका स्कोर होता है उसका कुछ स्कोर कार्ड डाल देते हैं, है ना? So what do you think, are these plus ups also you know kind of you know push more कि यार हाँ यार आपके एप्लीकेशन पे प्लस अप करते हैं, या दिस इज जस्ट लाइक मेयर यू नो टर्मिनोलॉजीज की पोर्टफोलियोज आ गए हैं तो पोर्टफोलियोज भेज दो, या फिर लीड कोड का स्कोर डाल दिया, दैट इज समथिंग. बट डू यू रियली थिंक कि these things worked?
I think it's very subjective to the job requirement, to your position, the field that you're working in. हर चीज पे it depends. ठीक है, resumes होते हैं, CVs होते हैं, which is different, which is mostly a little elaborated because वो आप academic profiles के लिए ज्यादातर use करते हो. Then there is something called trainer profile, which now I use. Like I created a resume इतनी मेहनत लगा के, and then I come to know कि अगर मुझे jobs चाहिए in the training field, or if I want some freelance opportunities, they don't want my resume, they want my trainer profile.
The number
right?
of hours training.
Yeah, so the number of hours that I've put in into facilitation and कहाँ मैंने training करी है, right? So उसमें what happens is you do mention a little about your education and experience like you do in your resume, but nothing more than that. They're not interested in your skills and everything because skill उनको पता है. Skill वही है कि आपकी public speaking, communication, clarity और relevance यही होना चाहिए, right? So I think it completely depends upon the requirement of the company, the requirement of the field that you're working in, and the requirement of you know probably the geographical location also, because again I'm talking about geographical location now and I'm diverting a little, because resumes mein bhi na, when I talk about ATS friendly resumes, it's very different across the globe. कुछ कंट्रीज में resumes do not have to be ATS friendly because recruiters directly देखते हैं. And in a lot of European countries, because I attended a session with Unitar where I was really like fascinated because that lady said resume building के session में that if you're not adding a picture on your resume while you're applying for jobs in the UK or Switzerland, we reject it because as per our human tendency or our mind goes, we want to see कि हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं, right? So it totally depends upon the requirement. आपकी कंपनी कहाँ की है इस पे भी डिपेंड करता है. अगर मैं ये भी बोलूँ कि चलो आप बाहर नहीं जा रहे हो बट आपकी रिमोट जॉब है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल in a country which is in the European area. So or maybe probably if you got a remote job with the UN or an internship with the UN, तो आप ये वाला रिज्यूमे नहीं भेजोगे. You'll add a picture to it, right? अगर उनको पोर्टफोलियो चाहिए आप पोर्टफोलियो भेजोगे. So it totally depends upon your research on it also कि वो जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट क्या चाहती है, वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन क्या चाहती है और इस रोल में क्या ज्यादा रेलिवेंट है. So that's something you need to figure out and then use it accordingly because these can't be replaced. ये नहीं बोल सकते हम कि कल को portfolios use होंगे और resumes नहीं होंगे, right? So again, it's very subjective. So I think that's how you can approach it. You need to make your research strong.
Okay. Now my next question is to Chavideep. Chavideep, like as you see कि यार हर कोई content creator बन रहा है social media where everyone wants to get famous. But if I talk about in a perspective of job profile, how much you feel ki it's very important for someone to have their personal branding on social media, maybe their LinkedIn profile, or maybe as I told you, a few people put their lead code ka score and many things by which they can show their professional summary. ठीक है. So how much is important in coming scenarios, और आपने अपने सर्कल में भी देखा होगा कि now people start building their own personal brand for switching into a new role. It helps. What's your take on this?
So, Aman, my take on this is that it is absolutely the most crucial thing in today's time to have a personal brand, right? Personal brand for someone who is not selling anything, they're selling themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So, they're branding themselves in a way that people or companies or other brands would want to look at them and hire them. And kind of pay them for their skills and what their branding is, right? So I think in any sense, be it professionally, be it personally, be it if you have a product of your own, there should be some level of personal branding attached to your Instagram. And if in a professional setup, your LinkedIn should be up to date with, I was researching the other day and there was a whole video of, I don't know, about an hour or so where they were just telling you and teaching you on how to set up your LinkedIn profile, how your bio should be, how your profile picture should be. There are people that I've seen on LinkedIn who have a very casual profile picture. Now it's a very small thing that you show your face, you don't show your face. There is a beach photo, there is a mountain photo. But in a professional setup, when you're applying for jobs, you should have a white background. You should have if you want to pop your profile out, you should have a colored background, a plain simple background, and a good professional decent picture for anybody to look at, right? How your bio should be, what should it comprise of, your achievements, your degree, where you're currently working, where you've previously worked. I see a lot of profiles with ex Amazon, ex Google, all of that. So that is part of your branding. You're branding that. So anybody who looks at your profile, if they are looking the first thing that you're ex Amazon, ex Google, why would they not want to hire you? Right?
Okay.
So I think that is what personal branding is in today's day and age.
So as we are sliding towards the end of this drive, this one controversial question I want to ask you, Chavideep. What would you prefer? A workplace where you are getting paid more, or workplace where you have a good work-life balance? As a Gen Z.
Okay, good question. So
that's why it's controversial.
actually, it is not controversial, Aman. I'll tell you why. Money is very important in anybody's life, right? Money does give you some level of happiness, and that is what you work for. You're doing a monotonous job, working in an office, opening your laptop day in day out. That is for money, and for you to enjoy your life with that money, right? having a good culture in an office is something which is very important, right? Money is a necessity, and culture has also become a necessity in these times, right? If the culture of an office is not good, if there are people shouting, as one of your examples previously, if there are people shouting, down the hierarchy, that does not set a good example of a good working culture. For Gen Zs particularly, it is very, very much important if the work culture is good. If you're spending 9 hours of your day's time in an office amongst people who are not passionate towards work, who are shouting at any given task, and delegating a number of things down to you, that is not healthy for you, for the business, for the company, for managers, anybody. So companies these days pay a lot of attention, pay a lot of resources for you to get a wonderful office to work in. There is a term I'm not really recalling right now, but what is happening is that new offices which are being set up, or offices which are being renovated, what the companies or what these big giants are doing is they're spending a lot of time setting that office up with good amenities, right? You have good food there, you have a good aesthetic workplace to work in, you're comfortable in your office in such a way that you would not want to leave, right? So that is what they're trying to build for you, so that they can attract people coming back to office, especially after COVID.
That's my point.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're wanting people to come to office, spend their time there, collaborate with people, get work done. Because during COVID, it was very normal for you to kind of just sit back home, open your laptop, do your work and shut your laptop back, right? But getting them back into offices when everybody knows that, okay, this work can be done working from home. Why do I need to come to office, spend my, petrol, spend my time in commuting and all of that, spend my money? So this is what they're doing. And a good work culture also, to add to that, will give you that essence of how to be personally and professionally when you even switch jobs. So when at any point in your career, when you become a manager, for example, you would take those values that you've gained from your manager, right? So if they're constantly shouting at you and not giving you a good guidance on how to, manage people, you will take that with yourself. So having a good culture is very important for your career and also for your, personal, professional development.
Let's directly come to the money wala point. Salary negotiation. Okay, matlab people don't even know ki how much raise they can ask. People don't even know how much hike they can get while switching from one job profile to another.
Yeah.
So I just want you to elaborate this particular thing. Ki suppose if I am someone who had a 2-year experience and I want to get into a new job, what is the minimum salary hike I can expect? ठीक है, एंड डज दैट वेरी फ्रॉम द जॉब प्रोफाइल ऑल्सो, कि आप किस जॉब टाइटल में मूव कर रहे हो, आप किस कंपनी में मूव कर रहे हो, उससे भी वेरी करता है. सो या प्लीज गो अहेड.
Right. So, yeah, it is very subjective, like you already mentioned. कि it's very very important to understand कि क्या job position है, क्या profile है, experience पे भी depend करता है कि कौन सी company से आ रहे हो, right? That also matters. So when it comes to salary negotiation, I will just give 2 or 3 general insights and keep it short and crisp. The first one is कि I personally believe कि if you're a fresher, that's when it's very difficult to do that, right? So इस केस पे आप 2 चीजें कर सकते हो. एक तो एक्चुअली आप कर ही नहीं सकते बिकॉज कई बार क्या होता है, स्पेशली व्हेन इट्स कॉलेज और कैंपस प्लेसमेंट्स, राइट, उन्होंने सैलरी बैंड मेंशन किया होता है एंड इफ यू ट्राई टू नेगोशिएट दैट, उनका फिक्स सैलरी बैंड होता है एंड इट्स नॉन नेगोशिएबल. सो इफ यू स्टिल कीप पुशिंग इट ना, दे विल गेट इरिटेटेड एंड वो आपको सिलेक्ट ही नहीं करेंगे. सो इफ दे हैव अ फिक्स्ड सैलरी बैंड, please don't try negotiating, because you as a fresher should understand कि you don't have experience right now to prove something. And even if you're not a fresher and they still have a fixed salary band after some years of experience, then also it's not useful to negotiate, because it just annoys the recruiter or HR, because they can't do anything about it, right? Now the second thing is कि अगर आपके पास है experience और आपको negotiate करना है, तो आप 2 चीजें कर सकते हो. One is to do intensive research, extensive research. Again, Glassdoor is the best platform to do that. बिफोर यू गो इन फॉर द इंटरव्यू यू हैव टू बी वेल प्रिपेयर्ड. लास्ट मोमेंट पे जाके ये नहीं बोलना कि ये कितने कम पैसे दे रहे हो, मेरे को ज्यादा चाहिए, 4 लाख क्या होता है, 4 लाख में आता गया है, राइट? सो ये सब नहीं बोल सकते आप, राइट? You need to make a very diplomatic and structured answer to be able to deal with this question, because इसमें दो चीजें हैं. एक, you're trying to negotiate salary. Second, the interviewer is also trying to look at how you tackle this question, right? हो सकता है they are willing to offer you more, but they want to see कि आप में वो capability है टू नेगोशिएट. अगर है तो हो सकता है वो कर भी दे, राइट? तो एक तो खुद अपनी रिसर्च करके जाओ. व्हेन यू सेड कि कितना सैलरी बैंड एक्सपेक्ट होना चाहिए, इट्स वेरी सब्जेक्टिव. जो जॉब पोजीशन है, जो कंपनी है, ग्लासडोर पे अच्छे से रिसर्च करके देखो कि वो कंपनी यूजुअली उस जॉब पोजीशन के लिए कितना ऑफर करती है. या फिर अगर सिर्फ वो कंपनी नहीं, इंडस्ट्री में उस जॉब प्रोफाइल के लिए विद दीज नंबर ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस कितना सैलरी बैंड है एक्सेप्टेबल. सो वंस यू हैव दैट आइडिया इन माइंड ना, तो वो थोड़ा सा इजी हो जाता है. बिकॉज इफ दे आस्क यू, ओके, टेल मी व्हाट इज योर एक्सपेक्टेशन. अब मान लो उनका हाईएस्ट बजट वो 6 लाख और आप जाके बोल दो मेरे को तो 10 लाख का पैकेज चाहिए, बोलेंगे like what the hell, 10 lakh का पैकेज. बिकॉज 6 lakh and 10 lakh is a huge difference. Firstly, it shows कि आपको कुछ पता ही नहीं है. आप हवा में ही बातें कर रहे हो कि it's not even possible कि आपको 10 लाख का पैकेज मिले, राइट? एंड अगर if you're still unsure कि आपको कितना कोट करना चाहिए, I give this method. I think it's really wonderful. I named it the Uno reverse method.
Okay.
ठीक है? If they ask you कि what are your salary expectations, or what is the salary range you're expecting, throw that question back at them. Sir, ma'am, if you can tell me what salary band are you. So sir or ma'am, whatever salary band you are willing to provide, can you just give me a little insight about that, and then probably I can talk more about what my expectations are. अगर वो फिर भी आपके पीछे पड़ रहे हैं, तो before you actually give a band, right, कि इतना होना चाहिए, try to ask another question which shows कि you're smart. You can say, या फिर अगर उन्होंने बता भी दिया एंड यू फील कि इट्स लेस, ओके, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट आर सम अदर एडिशनल बेनिफिट्स यू विल गेट, राइट? कॉर्पोरेट्स में इतने बेनिफिट्स मिलते हैं, ओकेजनल कूपन्स मिलते हैं, देयर आर मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज, इंश्योरेंस, एवरीथिंग, राइट? सो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड बैलेंस इन योर हेड कि क्या वो बाकी जो कॉम्पनसेशंस हैं, आर दोज रियली ग्रेट फॉर मी टू सेटल फॉर दिस. If it is, you can know and tell yourself कि हाँ, this works. मेरी 6 की expectations थी, ये 4.5 दे रहे हैं, but they are giving a lot of benefits, right? So that's how you figure out. You throw the question back at them. You ask them questions so that you can instantly create something in your mind to be able to give a fair salary band to them.
Okay, but still, if any kind of percentage, I want you to just name, because I guess industry standards, there are some industry standards ki at least like I have read somewhere ki 30 to 35% is industry standard ki if you spend 2 to 3 years in any company, अगर आप switch कर रहे हो, if you are switching from one company to another, so at least 30 to 35% you can ask.
Yeah.
Is that number is you double down to that number?
Okay, so I would probably say कि I have been in that spot at one particular time when I was also working, and for me that worked favorably. When I asked them, they were okay with that. So I agree that in most cases, companies, if they're good companies, they will probably give you that. And even startups, because startups are usually willing to invest and put in that money in you, right? But I wouldn't say, again, I would say it's very subjective. I wouldn't say it's applicable to all companies, because some companies might feel कि it's too much and they might just offer you 15-20, or maybe if they're just offering you 15, they want you to negotiate and then you can reach probably 25.
Cool. Great.
To add to that, Hanspreet, I feel a lot of times when you are just quoting a number,
Yeah.
for example, that cannot be for your personal expenses or liabilities,
Right.
because the recruiter won't care on
Exactly.
if you want to buy an iPhone,
Yeah.
or to give your EMIs
Yeah.
and XYZ. So I think if you ever get in that situation where you are kind of wanting to quote something which is beyond the band of what
Yeah.
the recruiter is providing, I think it is important to justify what skills you're bringing to the table for them. You know? Despite of the benefits
Yeah.
that the company is offering, you should be able to present yourself in a way, or you should kind of it's very important to present your skills, whatever you've gained in
Yeah.
your 1, 2, 3 years of experience, or maybe more than that, and you have to justify yourself in a way where you're making the recruiter believe that okay, this guy will bring something to the table that he will bring or she will bring some value to
Yeah.
the team, which they can benefit of, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that is very important.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
It related to this.
Before we will take that question,
Yeah.
I want you guys to have coffee. It's your side way, okay? Because I guess we've been talking from last half an hour, तो गला भी सूख गया होगा सबका.
Thank you, Aman. It's good coffee.
No, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so my question, Hanspreet, to you was that a lot of times when we are sitting in front of the interviewer,
Right.
right? What are some things that, people really need to remember? For example, your body posture,
Yeah.
right? How you're looking, how you're dressed, are your shoes clean, are
Yeah.
your nails properly trimmed? What are those etiquettes that everybody should know before getting into that room with the interview?
Right. So that's a really important question because it becomes a part of a concept called workplace etiquette or professional etiquette, right? And even though we might think it's such a simple thing, मुझे तो पता है, a lot of times हम नहीं ध्यान देते, or maybe it's in the back of our head, but consciously we are not thinking about it, right? So especially if it's an in-person interview, you've already pointed out a lot of things. You should look poised, you should look well dressed, right? Your shirt shouldn't be crushed. If you're going for an interview in scorching heat, you should make sure that you have the right means that you are not sweaty when you get in there. Your shirt is not completely sweaty. If you think you're traveling in a two-wheeler or something, maybe carry an extra t-shirt, go change it there, reach the location 30 minutes or 1 hour prior to the actual interview, right? Then your nails, for again, it's very different for girls and boys. So for girls, your nails should just look neat. They can be long, but for boys they should be cut short, right? And you should look well groomed, and body posture is very important. And another thing which is important is that you should not be fidgeting, because there are a lot of small nuances that the interviewer picks up on. For example, your movement of your eyebrows, the movement of your eyes. If you have a pen in your hand, you keep fidgeting, or if you're shaking your leg. A lot of these things they observe very closely, very minutely, because they are signs of nervousness, anxiousness, right? So you need to make sure you're confident. My one tip would be कि अपने हाथ में कुछ रखो ही मत, ताकि fidgeting हो ही ना. And keep a check on your leg movement. And when they're asking you a question, even if you're nervous, even if you think कि they've put me in a spot में एकदम से क्या बोलूं, a very humble way to approach that is just tell the interviewer very politely कि sir or ma'am, can you give me a few seconds to think about it? I would suggest कि instead of directly blabbering जो मन में आ रहा है उस टाइम पे, तो वो स्ट्रक्चर नहीं बनता, सेंस नहीं बनाता. अगर लग रहा है कि सोचने के लिए टाइम चाहिए, टेक 30-40 seconds, structure the thought in your head and then spit it out. So that is structure, right? And then उसमें ना बात करते हुए फंबल भी नहीं करोगे आप, right? Then it will show that you're not very nervous also, because एकदम से बोल रहे हो, फंबल करोगे, हैंड्स शेक करेंगे, लेग शेक करेगी, आई मूवमेंट यहाँ वहाँ जाएगा, आई कॉन्टैक्ट डिसरप्ट होगा, which is again very important. So these things matter. So two things for this is being well prepared. जो भी हमने prerequisites की बात करी, that you should go through the job description thoroughly. This is one thing I just keep repeating. Resume बनाना है, interview questions के साथ deal करना है, job description में से ही सामान उठाओ और उसके हिसाब से prepare करो. जब प्रिपेयर्डनेस होती है माइंड में, नर्वसनेस अपने आप काम डाउन हो जाती है, राइट? एंड अगर वो फिर भी है तो जस्ट कीप आस्किंग, नॉट फॉर एवरी क्वेश्चन, बट व्हेनेवर यू कैन, व्हेनेवर यू गेट अ चांस, जस्ट आस्क फॉर अ फ्यू सेकंड्स, टेक अ डीप ब्रेथ, स्ट्रक्चर द थॉट इन योर हेड एंड देन से इट. तो उससे वो सारे बॉडी लैंग्वेज के नुआंसेस आल्सो दे काम डाउन एंड सेटल डाउन.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess we have covered everything.
Yeah.
Like if someone who is looking for like how I should prepare for an interview,
Yeah.
how to sit, how to tackle to a particular question. So I guess this was a great conversation with you guys, and cheers to our conversation. I just want to kind of, we can cheers for it.
Yes.
So it was a great conversation with you, Hanspreet. Thanks for taking time for me, because I know you're from Chandigarh. You directly flew from there, and taking time from after your training session, it's quite hectic for you. But thanks for doing this for me, and thanks to Savideep also for bringing a perspective of someone who is kind of a third point of view from someone कि यार हम ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, और इवन वी एज अ क्रिएटर विल गेट अ पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कि हमें आगे कैसे कंटेंट बनाना है, व्हाट यू गाइस आर
Yeah.
एक्सपेक्टिंग. सो वो एक लेंस जानना इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट्स व्हाई आई थॉट ऑफ ब्रिंगिंग यू.
Yeah.
And thanks for your time also. And I guess we had a great time.
Yeah,
we did,
definitely.
definitely.
I think Shavideep had some great insights and he was very articulate about them. I think I also got to learn a lot from the both of you because your questions made me think a lot,
Yeah.
which probably again I have not put it out there yet. A few things, of course, I've discussed because my content is around that material. But a lot of things you gave me, you made me think a lot
Yeah.
about a lot of things which I did get to talk about, and I really enjoyed this car ride. It was a great exposure for me as well, so thank you so much to you too.
Yeah. So I guess we are about to end this.
Yeah.
Before ending this, Shavideep, anything you want to say? You
I
can.
just want to thank you for the opportunity, Aman. I think you're doing a fabulous job. You drive very well.
Oh,
all
thanks.
the viewers.
People say me I am a heavy driver.
No, you're a very calm driver.
Okay.
And this was a good experience.
I'm breaking the myths. Punjabis don't drive well.
Of course. No, they drive.
Okay.
I mean, they drive as everybody knows how they drive.
So people who are watching this, like the followers, you can be the next Shavideep. If you want to, be on a ride with your favorite creator, you can comment to this particular video in the comment section, and I would really love to invite that particular creator, and we can again have this fun infotainment drive. And thank you so much. See you there in the next drive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Follow Hanspreet, follow Aman.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
We are